I'm an adult services associate at Addison Library, and I'm at my desk in the library. Woohoo! We're actually closed right now to the public for the next couple of days. If you're seeing this at a later time after June 24th, this won't matter. But if you are tuning in today, just know that we're only offering curbside for the next 3 days while we wrap up our parking lot construction. So without further ado, I do welcome our dear friend, Marti LaHood, to do live stream chair yoga. It's coming soon, folks. We're gonna stay live stream through July, but in August we're gonna start every other week in person. So look for that in your new upcoming program guide, which is just going to print and you'll be receiving soon. So only thing I have coming up is I got bingo next Tuesday night. It's 7 o'clock, so join us. It's always really fun. It's a family event, but it is in the adult events section. So please register. You'll get yourself a card, and we give a little prize for all the winners and all that good stuff. So, all right, Marti.
Awesome. Thank you, Jody. I appreciate it.
Off we go.
Hey, you guys, happy Thursday, or whenever you're seeing this video. We are practicing chair yoga. So whether it's your, 100th time joining us, or it's your first time practicing, you are exactly where you need to be in this very moment. So I applaud you for taking the next hour to yourself, to your mind, to your body. It is a huge gift that we give ourselves, and we so often forget to check in with ourselves. Okay, so first and foremost is you're sitting. You're in a chair, and that chair can be anything that feels comfortable to you. So I'm obviously sitting on my couch. If you're sitting on I think the only thing that might be hard is like something that moves, but you listen to what feels right. So if you're on like a computer chair or a kitchen chair with wheels, it might be a little bit more difficult because you will kind of move in our poses. So for me, this seat is kind of low. I'm not going to do it today, but generally I would say that put a pillow, something underneath your sit bones so that it brings your hips up higher. Anytime your hips are below your knees, which mine are just a tad here, it's going to bring you more attention to your low back. Okay. If you want to challenge yourself, you can do it like this, where your hips are lower than your knees. But generally, I think that it's a little bit better for our low back to get those hips up higher. Okay. It's always nice to put even if you're on a hard chair, it's always nice to put a pillow underneath your hips too. It gives you a little bit more cushion. All right, so let's go ahead and start off. You can lean back into your seats. You just sit up tall. Again, you can lean all the way back. Just make sure that spine's long. So no kind of crunching forward. You don't need to be rigid. Just make sure that spine and the crown of your head is growing tall. Let those eyelids close. And let's just take a couple deep breaths here. It's nice big sighs almost. Open mouth, let it go. Good. Take a couple more. Notice how on those exhales, you just feel this weight that kind of rolls off of you. Each one of them making you feel softer, more in tune, and more aware of the tension that we hold. Subconsciously, we sigh all day. People around us notice it more than we do, because they'll often ask, what's wrong, or are you okay? Honestly, it is our subconscious and our body trying to remind us to breathe and to relax. And it works. Notice on each of those releases, one more time. Let that natural breath come back. Just where that tension lays. Paying attention to where our mind starts to wander. Let our eyelids get heavy and soft. Skin on your forehead become relaxed. Let that expression on your face feel like that of peace and calm. Bring both hands to that very lowest part of your belly, so right beneath your belly button. When you breathe in, I want you to feel that belly come all the way out, like almost like you're pressing it out on purpose. Exhale, pull that low belly back towards your spine as much as you can. Okay, every breath, fill it. And then draw it in, like clench it in. Always makes me yawn. Good. So let that belly move. Let those ab muscles work here. Let that diaphragm in our abdomen move up and down. Freeing up space, waking up our organs, releasing this tension that we hold here. When we get stressed or upset, we feel that in our gut, in our belly. And we hold this tension, just like we, make fists with our hands or curl our toes under. We do the same thing in our belly. We don't even notice it. Such a weird place to hold tension. And yet we hold so much of it. Good, last one. Bring those hands up now to that lowest rib. And if you want, you can completely lean yourself back. Again, so just as long as that spine is tall. As you breathe in, feel those ribs expand. And exhale, release them. Every breath. Again, so much tension that we hold in our rib cage, along our sternum, through our spine. It's a very hard place for us to stretch. And it's as simple as just taking deep breaths. Last one. Go ahead and open your eyes nice and softly. We'll start to move to the edge of our seat a little bit. Know that the back of your seat is always there for you if you need it. Feet are going to be hip distance apart. Heels are right underneath your knees. we're just going to move our spine. So as we breathe in, we're going to pull that belly button forward, shoulders roll back. And then as we exhale, we're going to roll onto our tailbone. Our shoulders come forward. Good, breathe in. Pull it forward. And exhale, round. Okay. These first couple ones are going to feel really stiff and rigid. Just let your breath kind of guide you through it. Any little movements that feel good? I always like to wiggle my shoulders. This is a great one just for your all over spine health. You know, no matter where you have tension, you're hitting all of it. And again, just like anything we do today, if it really hurts and you just feel it doesn't feel right and it's not feeling like a stretch, just limit yourself on it. Don't do them. Okay? This is not the no pain, no gain class. This is just gently moving our bodies. Last one here. Good, and release. Perfect. All right, sit up nice and tall. We're gonna roll one shoulder at a time. Get those shoulders really high when you roll them. So rather than just rolling them like, see if you can get that really high. It starts to help kind of fan you out a little bit through your rib cage. Okay, and release. This time we'll do both of them at the same time. Bring them forward and up and down and back. Just one more. Good. Release. Bring that right hand to your right side. If you're on a chair that has like armrest, you can even keep your forearm on your armrest, okay? So we're gonna take that left arm, we're gonna reach all the way up, sit up nice and tall. Perfect. So first here, I just want you to feel really long through that left side, like we're reaching out of the tallest cabinet in the kitchen. And if you're really tall, you don't understand what this feels like. But if you're short, you've done this before. Go ahead and reach up as high as you can. And then if you want to add here, you can start to lean a little bit over, but do not lean forward. I want you to keep up tall and straight. Big breath in. And release. Bring that left hand down. First, before we switch sides, I want you to take your arms and bring that right arm to the left knee. Good, just like this. So you are just going like that. Good. Grow really tall with your spine. Make sure your knees don't collapse into each other. Grow tall, breathe in. Exhale, twist over your left shoulder. One more breath. Breathe. And release. Okay. So now we take that left hand, bring it towards our side. Inhale, reach up nice and tall. Good. Keep that chest lifted. It's very easy for us to just go like this. So if anything, just make sure you're tall like this. Almost like ballerina. Good. Good. Keep reaching, feeling that length through that rib cage, feeling that whole shoulder lift. Breathe in if you want to add. Again, we reach over to the left. Keep that chest lifted. Breathe in. And release. Good. Nice and tall. This time, left hand is going to go towards the right knee. So we'll turn. Okay. Nice and tall, straight arms. Reach that right arm behind you as much as you can. Breathe in. Grow tall. Exhale, twist over that right shoulder. Good. Breathe in. And release. Good. Shake out them shoulders. Okay, good. We're going to bring those feet now a little wider than hip distance. We'll start off by bringing those elbows towards our thighs. All right, so here you're probably already feeling it in your hips and in your low back. So what this does to our low back is it takes the pelvis and brings it down and forward, and then it lengthens that low back. Okay, which can be really good for most of us. Most of us hold a lot of tension here. This is where the majority of the weight of our upper body goes. So it needs a little decompression. So you can stay here, and this is enough for a lot of us. I already feel this a lot. Or you can bring your hands down to the floor to feel it more. So if you've ever seen happy baby pose, which is done on your back, you're on your back and you grab your feet kind of like a happy baby. This is the same thing, but seated in our chair. So lots of benefits. It's really good for that low back. It's good for those SI joints, which is the left and the right side of that low back. Like almost feels like it's part of your pelvis. Good, because it kind of helps square this out. Just 2 more breaths. You can relax your head down if you want to. Get some blood flow to your brain. Last breath here. We'll come up nice and slow. First, come to your elbows. Maybe even close your eyes. Sometimes it can make us dizzy. And then come all the way up. Give yourself as much time there as you need. If you're ready to flow with us, let's flow. Big breath in, sweep those arms out and open. Hands meet to the top. And then exhale, hands through center. Good. Follow your breath. Breathe in. Try to give yourself a ton of time. So the longer your breath, the slower your movement gets to be. These deep breaths always. I'm not bored, I promise. Oh, yes. That breathing is so good. Perfect. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to work into those legs. So we're going to start off. We're going to bring that left ankle on top of our right knee. So this is our figure 4 or our seated pigeon pose. Lots of options. If this is too much for you, I'm not like I'm really low in my seat. Normally I put something underneath my hips. This makes it really difficult here. I'm not going to lie. So that right leg can be straight, turn, and then you can slowly bring yourself up that way. You might have just a ton of flexibility here. You can even lean yourself forward into that shin. Good. Again, try to find somewhere that's comfortable to move around, because I want you to be somewhere that you can relax. You can completely let those hip muscles, butt muscles just relax so that it'll stretch out. We tend to get here and then like clench everything. That's not good. Don't forget to breathe. Two more breaths. Good. All right, we'll take that leg down, wiggle it out a little bit. All right, we're going to move into the other legs. The other leg can be different. Again, that left leg can be straighter. Just be gentle how you get here. And you can definitely have one side that's way worse than the other, so don't be surprised. This side for me is a tough one. But again, try to relax those muscles. So rather than using these muscles and holding this pose, I want you to get yourself somewhere that you can just try and let those muscles go. Breathe. Good. A couple more breaths. Last breath here. And release. We went for a very long walk this morning and then he had one of those puppuccinos from Starbucks. So he's kind of calm. He's calmer than he usually is during our yoga classes. I kind of love it. All right, we'll reset. So big breath in, reach all the way out and open. Big stretch. And exhale. Oh, I just feel like I can snap my life back in order with that kind of a breath. Oh. One more breath. One more time. Perfect, you guys. All right, we're going to work into those arms and those shoulders a little bit. We're going to really work into those rotator cuffs and actually the tops of the shoulders. So we'll constantly go back and forth between this and more leg exercises so we can give our arms a break. If you do know you have limitations, frozen shoulder, any major rotator cuff issues, any discomfort here, limit yourself on it. Maybe you tried doing one and then you realize this is not feeling great. And then you stop. Okay. So again, listen to your body. I don't want you to not be able to put a shirt on later. All right. So we're going to take those arms all the way wide out, palms face down. If this is too much for you, you can bring the elbows like this. If you are bringing those shoulders up to your ears, it's too much. Okay. All right, we're going to make little circles. Sit up tall. Okay. Breathe. Last one here. All right, nice and slow. Bring them together in front of you. And then we'll open them up. Again, if this is too much, you can be like this. You're still going to feel that in that top muscle. So not only are we warming it up right now, this is really good for the mobility of your shoulder. It's good for your rotator cuff as long as you're not agitating it. Good. Last one. And release. Okay, shake out those arms. All right, we'll give those arms a little bit of a break. We'll work into those legs again. All right, send that right leg forward. Heel down, toes face up. All right, so sit up nice and tall here. Hands come to that left thigh. We get a little bit of a bend in that right knee. A little bit of a flex back with those toes. So lots of different levels here. We're stretching out those hamstrings. So depending on how tight you are, you might already feel it, and that is perfectly fine. But I'll give you different levels so that you can actually feel that stretch. So if you're really flexible in your hamstrings, it might take more for you to feel it. All right, sit up tall, pull that belly forward, and start to pull that belly into that left thigh. Yeah, I feel it right there. Okay. Perfect. If you feel it here, you can stay here. If you want to add on to it, by all means, we're going to still pull that belly in. Okay, so we're not just going to come forward like this. I want you to come forward, nice flat back, belly first. Okay. I'm reaching that right hand down a little bit. You might need to come and reach down to the toes. And if you're not feeling that stretch in the back of your leg, that's because you're rounding your spine to get there. Okay. Breathe. All right, come all the way up. Release. Wiggle that leg up. And we'll just switch. Left leg forward, toes point up, little bend in that left knee, hands to that right shin, and then we'll lean forward, belly into thigh. Good. So these hamstrings are really important that we stretch them out. Lots of us are tight in them. Men typically tend to be tighter there. In fact, a lot of men have shorter hamstrings than women do. So hamstrings being tight can cause us low back pain. They could limit our mobility for getting upstairs, for picking something up off the floor, for getting up off the floor, even just putting our pants on. It can limit us. So really important that we do stretch these muscles out. All right, if we want to add here, keep that belly coming in. So remember, flat back, no rounding forward. And then you can reach down a little bit. Good, but just imagine that, like, if I could see you, which I wish I could, that you had writing on your t-shirt right here. And you wanted to make sure that the person in front of you could read it. Because if you roll forward, no one's going to read it. I want to read it. Good. Good. That's really where you're going to feel this stretch. Good. If you flex the toes back a lot, you'll feel this in your calf too. Don't forget to breathe. Good. And release. Shake out those legs. Good. All right. We'll go back into our arms a little bit. Give those legs a break, and we'll just keep on switching back and forth. All right. So elbows into our sides. Okay. We're going to get those rotator cuffs. So keep those elbows pinned. Good. And then just circles. So if there's any discomfort, you can bring those circles from bigger to smaller. Nice and slow. Let's reverse those circles. Good. Keep on moving with it. Keep those elbows pinned in. Perfect. All right. So now we're going to do, I call them chicken arms. So you can even grab into your armpits if it feels good. You can just hold them right here. I feel like that feels better for me. And then bring out your elbows to the sides. All right. And from here, we're going to make big circles with the elbows. Good. And again, be gentle. If you have like some major cracking here that doesn't feel good, don't do it. Okay. This is definitely more about the mobility of this joint. Reverse those circles. You'll start to feel like some muscles that you never used to. It's really crazy. I'm like, oh, that's a weird muscle. Okay, and last one, relax. All right, we're going to wiggle out the shoulders one at a time again. Good, and release. Perfect. Give those arms a break. Move into those legs again. Heels right underneath your knees. Make sure that there's some space between the back of your calf and the back of whatever you're sitting on. Oh, that was me. Relax. Okay, that was me. Yes, sit up nice and tall. And then we're going to scooch those heels back just enough that that heel lifts a sliver up off of the floor. Just a sliver. Okay, so we're going to heels up, tippy toes, and then heels down. Okay, and we're just going to hold those heels down this time. Okay, toes almost flex up. You feel your body trying to press those heels down. Okay, all right, now heels up. And then heels down. Good, you're really feeling that stretch. in your ankle, in your actual feet, like the front of them. You're probably definitely feeling in your calves. Heels up and heels down. All right, and release. Give those a wiggle out. All right, back into those arms for a little bit. Take those arms, reach them all the way up towards the sky, tight little fists, and then violently open them up. Got the more violent, the better. So we're getting that lymphatic system moving in our fingertips. Really important to get our fingers above our heart once in a while because it gets any like swelling of our fingers, swelling of our wrists, carpal tunnel. It's just really good for our fingers. But then that lymphatic system, as we like kind of like flick it open, it kind of kicks all that into to start like working better. Gives them a jump start. And it really tires out our arms. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed. One more time. And relax. Oh, see, I felt that a lot. All right. Go back into those legs for a little bit. So on our seat, we're going to turn to the left as much as we can. Okay? We're just talking to someone next to us. And then we're going to take that right leg and we're going to reach it out to the side. We're going to line our legs so that left heel is under our knee. Good. Inner thigh nice and stretched. Sit up tall. So if this is kind of like kicked you back like this, try to come up. Try to get those shoulders on top of your hips. Really important muscle for us to stretch, especially women. We tend to just be more tense here because, the way we sit, they're always in flexion. So really important to stretch. It's really important for our hips, for our pelvis, even for our posture. So these muscles are all part of this long system of muscles that attach to the tops of our hips and literally will pull our hips forward, making that tall posture really hard. Okay. So again, really important we stretch those out. Now you can stay here. This is enough for most of us. If you want to add, you can start to walk that hand down your right leg. Just try to keep that left shoulder back as much as you can here. Good. Yeah. This is where I really feel it. I feel it at the top of my left hip. In here too. But breathe. It's so easy for us to forget to breathe. Not only in our practice, but like in our day. Okay, last breath here. And then release. Good. Come back to center. I can just feel the difference between my legs here. It's like this one feels brand new. Maybe not brand new, but you know what I mean. All right, turn to the right. I wonder what it'd be like to just stretch like one whole side of your body and then not the other for the entire day. And I feel like I'd be lopsided. Look goofy. All right, left leg is going to reach all the way out again. Good. And again, if you felt like you've leaned back, try to pull those shoulders back on top of your hips. Okay, and breathe. Oh, all that breathing. All that yawning. Good. Now you can stay here. This might be enough. Either way, keep a tall spine. Pull that right shoulder back, and then walk that left hand down a little bit. Okay. Yep. Feel it here. I feel it here. Last breath. Good. And release. Good. Shake out those legs. That feels better. Not lopsided anymore. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll move back into those arms. All right, so take a moment, shake out those shoulders a little bit. You're gonna bring the palms together, elbows in, and then we're just gonna take those arms out. And I want you to open those arms as much as possible. Chest pulls forward. I want you to hold it here. Keep pressing those palms back as far as you can. Good. Palms come together. Okay, back and forth. You don't have to pull them back as far as you did, but pull them back. Good. And breathe. Last one here. And then this time we'll open up the palms. And we're going to reach those arms all the way up towards the sky. And then pull them down. Reach them up. And pull it down. Last one, just like that. Good. Release. Palms come forward, arms out, and then give yourself a big hug. Good. I like to get here and just kind of wiggle it a little bit. I feel like all these little crunchies in my back. Mm-hmm. In a good way, though. You know those good crunchies. Like I'm getting rid of something back there. All right, remember what's on top. And then I want you to switch it. Come out first, nice and big, and then the other way. All right, release. Okay, give those arms a break. All right, we're gonna bring those feet a little wider than hip distance. We're gonna bring that right elbow towards our right thigh, just that. Looking like cool and hip here. All right, we're gonna bring that left hand forward, kind of off to the side in that left leg, because we're gonna move here. So inhale that left arm up and down. Good. Listen to your body. If that movement is too much, you can just stay up here too. I like to kind of slowly work into it. You'll feel this muscle right here stretch. Really important muscle for us to stretch. It's part of our psoas, which is it's our deepest muscle. They call it the muscle of our soul because it's so deep. It's also really hard for us to stretch in a chair. So there's a lot of different places to stretch it. This is kind of getting more of the side of it. Good. When that psoas muscle is what's in charge of keeping our body upright. Okay. So if you ever really think of like your muscles, your skeletal system, and gravity, you got to think to yourself, okay, well, if all of my body is so kind of fluid, then what is in charge of keeping that spine completely upright, like all day? And it's your psoas muscle. So it's meant to be tense, but when it's too much, it can tend to pull at every muscle in our body. So if you feel that a lot, like right in here, that's your psoas. Last one here. And release. Okay. All right. Give yourself a breather. Shake out I always like to shake out my back before switching. And then when you're ready, switch. We'll stay here for a moment. And then right hand comes forward, kind of off to the side. And then we're going to reach that up and back. Good. We feel it on the other side. So there's also some really good stretches for that psoas muscle that gets the front of it. I wish I could show you some of them. They're great. They might be a little bit more intense, but they're on the floor. Like you just lay on your belly. And it feels so good to stretch it. That psoas muscle, when it's tight, it can also be the cause of bad posture. So if you've ever gone to like physical therapy for posture, people are always amazed that your physical therapist will stretch out like these inner thighs, the front of our thighs, and then they'll start to stretch out like that psoas muscle. So they probably will do things like this too. But all those muscles can be, a fighting force when it comes to having that good posture. So it makes sense. Good, last one. Oh, my arms are so tired. Good, release it. Now come just down to both elbows. Let those hips, that back kind of square out. Doing great on time. Really flies by. All right, sit all the way up. We'll reset. Big breath in. Reach those arms up. I know those arms are tired. 2 more here. Just like that. Perfect. Feet are hip distance apart. We're going to move our spine another time. I want you to really notice any changes you've created in your spine. Okay, so breathe in, pull that belly button forward, shoulders back, and then exhale as you round, pulling that back towards the back of our seat. Okay, couple more just like that. Good. Hopefully you feel a little bit more space. Good. I don't think my spine's ever gonna not feel stiff. I wasn't blessed with one of those backs that could do like back bends and all that fun stuff. But I can feel these stretches. And I can feel that I have created space. Just one more. All right, so tall, bring those feet together to touch. You probably want to be more to the edge of your seat here. Feet touch, and then here we're just going to open up our hips. Okay, as much as we want. Try and sit up tall here. Good, you can move around in your seat if it feels good. If it feels better, you can have your heels up. You can have your heels down. Move to something that feels right. So you will feel a stretch here, but this is going to be a little bit more about the mobility of our hip joint still. And it's important that we keep the spine tall rather than rounding here. And breathe. Slowly bring them back together. And we'll move. So just slowly open. Probably moving your seat a little bit. So just limit the movement so you don't fall. Last one. Slide right off my seat. And release. Good. All right, we're going to bring both of those feet forward. Okay. Little bend in our knees. Just a little bit of a bend. Okay. All right, make sure you don't fall off your seat. So make sure you're on your hips are on. If your seat is too tall, this might be difficult. So again, just don't get yourself, just don't fall off your seat. All right, we're just gonna lean forward, try to grab towards our toes. But remember, I wanna see what's on the front of your shirt. Okay. Now, if you're like me and your feet open up like this here, try to bring them back together. Okay, so keep those big toes kind of touching. Yeah, you're really feeling that hamstring. Good. And notice that like when your feet go out, it's much easier. You're not using those muscles as much. Okay, one more breath here. Oh, lying back. God, and release. Perfect. Wiggle those legs out. We'll reset. Big breath in, reach up. And exhale. Last time here, you guys, just 2 more. Last one. And exhale. Perfect. All right, you guys, you deserve it. We are making our space for Shavasana. Shavasana just means the end or the death of our practice. So it's really important that your Shavasana be somewhere that's comfortable for you. I know you'll always see people sitting, crisscross applesauce, sitting up tall and just meditating there. In a perfect world, that would be great. But for most of us, that's not comfortable, nor was it ever comfortable until maybe when we were like 5. So the most important part is to find somewhere that you can feel comfortable and stillness while still keeping the spine long. It doesn't have to be like perfect posture. It just needs to be, you can't be like this. All right? Because it's important that we are solidifying those good connections in our spine, especially during Shavasana. It affects all of our chakras, our whole entire body, just our all over energy. If we're hunched over and we're limiting, I guess, the blood flow, the energy flow in one of our vertebrae, that Shavasana is not as powerful for that part of our body. Okay, so it's like our recharge is how I feel my Shavasana is. So if you want to lay down, get flat on your back. I think that's like the best way to do Shavasana in a typical yoga class. That's where most of us go. But again, it's important you go somewhere that feels comfortable. So you can lean all the way back into your seats. You can bring your hands wherever feel comfortable. Palms face down, they say, is helpful for helping you feel grounded. Palms face up is good for inviting new energy in your life. You can even choose to do one down and one up. I want it all. Go ahead and let those eyelids close. Again, just slowly bringing yourself back into this space, into this harmony. Noticing the changes in your energy. Start to notice and feel how your body feels from the inside. When we have a bump or a bruise, we of course tend to grab the outside of it. As if you were walking around the inside of your body, or looking around, let's say. Imagine checking in to each part of your body. Keeping those breaths soft and long. Letting that expression on your face be that of calm and peace. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Let those little movements get bigger. When you're ready, take a big breath. Reach those arms all the way up. Hands together in front of your heart. So if you're on your back, you can stay there. Take a moment to set yourself an intention for the rest of your day, for the interactions you have with others and the interactions you have with yourself. Thank you for sharing this practice. Namaste. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Jody. I always love being here.
There we go. Thank you, Marti.
Great.
So we'll see you. Yeah, it was. It was beautiful. I'm working away at the desk, but I have you right in my sights, so.
Awesome.
And listening.
It's calming, hopefully.
It's great. It truly is.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And of course, please tune in to our YouTube channel. Just search for Addison Public Library and you'll find us. And you'll see us in the videos. And you'll see Marti. And you'll be able to just click play and participate in a yoga session at any time. So we have lots to offer. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jody.
Okay, see you.
Bye, you guys.